guys, welcome to my channel. Yes, my channel. I know I'm so stoked to actually start this. I've always wanted to do a channel, but I didn't really have the confidence, nor did I thought I would have kind of stories and interests that people would actually want to watch. But a lot of people have told me to start one, so here I am. My name is Chantal. I have a beautiful baby daughter who is 16 months who is currently sleeping, so filming time. So I actually had a video planned for today and technical difficulties meant that I couldn't post it, so I am doing another one, and it is story time, and it is my labour story. I personally love my labour story. I think it wasn't as difficult as others have had, you know. It was quite fast, it was quite boom boom boom, which I kind of wanted in the first place, but here I go. I'll start telling you it now. So I was 5 days late with her, and it was the worst 5 days of my life. I just felt like it was just going on and on, and I just felt like a slob, and I was just eating yogurt and sitting on the couch and wouldn't move. And then one day I said, I've had enough. I've tried bouncing on the yoga ball, curb walking, pineapple juice, sex, everything. Nothing was working, and it was driving me insane. So I told my mum, I said I want to go for 2 really long walks, which would have been on the 20th of June. She was due on the 16th. So I said, okay, let's go, you know, let's go do this. I need some company. Went on this really long walk in the morning. Didn't feel anything. I was like, oh, they didn't really do anything. Then I went on a very long walk at night. This night walk would have took me about 30 minutes, probably an hour each way, which was really long for a waddling penguin, which was me. So I went with my mum, was walking all happily, everything. On the walk back, that's when I started feeling little cramps. And I told my mum, and because for weeks and weeks I've been having major on-off labour. So she will start to dilate and then will just stop. And the doctors didn't know why, I didn't know why, I was just so over it by then. So no one kind of believed me when I kept saying I'm feeling these pains on the 20th. And I was like, oh no, it's probably nothing, you know, it's probably not even labour. So I was like, oh okay mum, you know, I believe you, you've had all these babies, kind of just going to take your advice. I was walking, and it was like a tingling pain, like not really a dull cramp, just a tingling, and I was like, that's a bit weird, I haven't felt that before. So I got home, sat on the couch, had a frozen Coke, and just relaxed. And she went crazy that night. She was so active, and now if I think about it, it was like her wiggling into position, I guess. So I saw my stomach going crazy, and I was like, everyone come look at my stomach, like this is so cool. And then it just stopped, and for some reason I got this gut feeling. It was like when she stops wiggling, it was kind of like it's normally like a slow stop, like she'll slow down, but this just stopped right in the middle of her being crazy. So I said, well, okay, that's not normal, but I'll go to sleep, you know. I just had a frozen Coke, maybe she just went crazy because it was cold. Well, went to bed. My partner just came home from work. He just worked like a 12-hour shift, maybe a bit longer. He was drained, he was tired. Past nights we were in and out of hospital, so he was so tired. We were laying there in bed, and he told me, he was like, please, not tonight, like not tonight, just I'll sleep tonight, you know, every other night's good, just not tonight. And I was like, yeah, it won't happen tonight. Well, a little later, well, it started. I could feel cramps, and these cramps didn't just start like slowly. It was just like boom. It was just like I was thrown into labour, and I was clenching my fist, and I was so scared. I was prepared to have it every other night, but not this night. I was like, no, this night I actually want to get some rest and not worry about this, but no. So I was laying there, and I was so scared, and I was shaking, and I was tapping my partner, and I was like, oh, I wake up, I'm feeling these cramps. And he's like, no, it's alright, it's just Braxton Hicks, you know, it's nothing, false contractions. Well, and they got worse and worse, to a point where I'm like, okay, can you go run me a bath or something, because I need heat on my back. So he went and ran me a bath, and I told him not to put any hot water in, any cold water in it. And I know it's really bad to be in a bath that's too hot when you're pregnant, but in labour, you just want any hot thing on your back. So he made it, I think he made it hot, I don't know, but at that time it felt cold, and I was in the bath and I was rolling and I was screaming and I was swearing, and I was telling him, get my midwife on the phone because I'm having this baby. So he was trying to call her off my phone, calling, she wasn't answering. I was yelling at my mum because I lived with my parents then. Was yelling at her, screaming, and I was like, give me painkillers, all I want is painkillers. Like, I've never craved a painkiller before, but at that point I was like, I want something, I want Panadol, anything. She was like, no, Chantal, you know, Panadol will do nothing. It'll just kind of, it just won't be anything. So they all ran out trying to get in contact with my midwife, so get my bags all in the car and everything. And I somehow managed, because I was screaming, managed to get out of the bath into the shower. Still wasn't hot enough, got changed, I was still half wet. I was just like, no, I want to go to hospital, I don't care about my midwife, I will just go into the birthing unit and just, whatever, like have my baby. So we drove there. My family were like, oh, we'll just stop off at the gas station, get some bees, you know, while I'm sitting there having major contractions. I found that quite funny because it happened to my mum as well. I think it was my mum or somebody else in labour, they had that problem. And I had that, but I was just screaming, not just getting stronger and stronger, and put me in the wheelchair, wheeled me up. Still had no contact from my midwife. She's a really good midwife, but this moment I didn't think so. So I was screaming in pain, and I thought I was over-exaggerating. I felt like I was over-exaggerating, but I didn't know what else to do. It was so painful. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. Laid me on the bed, you know. She was like, okay, well, we can't get in contact with your midwife, but I can check how dilated you are and see, you know, what's happening. Because I went in the night before that, and I was only 2 centimeters dilated, and I think you have to be 3 or 4 to be admitted in. So I hopped in, you know, whatever. Hopped on the bed, she checked me, and I was 9 centimeters dilated, and they were all shocked. They were like, did you not feel anything until now? And I said, nope, I didn't feel any build up that day. It was just, I was thrown in, like it was just 9 centimeters, we go. She was like, okay, you're so close. Sorry, you're so close to having this baby. She was feeling, she's like, yep, I feel, you know, she's in position, but she's a bit on the side. So the reason why I didn't get to 10 centimeters is because her head was lodged on the side, which was making my contractions worse. So my midwife, making my contractions worse. They said, do you want an epidural? You know, there's no chance it could work. And because there is a cut-off point for epidural, but I was screaming, I was begging. And at that point, they were just like, okay, whatever. You know, we can give it to you. Gave it to me. I felt it half. Because it was so late to have it. And the gas wasn't doing anything. So when they're putting my epidural in, they tell you, you know, if you have a contraction, tell us, we'll stop, we'll wait for it to pass, and then we'll keep going. Well, they didn't stop. I was holding my partner so tightly, and I was breathing, and the biggest contraction I had that whole night happened right there. And I was telling them, I'm having a contraction, and they're like, we're halfway in, we're not stopping. So to stay still, well, my whole stomach was like shifting and changing and cramping. You could like see it moving, and I was just screaming until it kicked in, or halfway. I could still feel pressure and pain, but it wasn't as sharp. So my midwife finally came in. She was like, I'm so sorry, I was sleeping there one night, you know, I wasn't supposed to turn my phone on silent, but I turned my phone on silent. But I forgave her because she is a really good midwife, and I recommend her highly. And I was in the hospital room, and my nana and my auntie came, and there was my mum and my partner all in the room, and I was happy, and I was so doped up because I didn't want to feel the pain. And for some reason my contractions kind of stopped a bit. It took me 10 hours to get from 9 centimeters to 10, so they had to give me, you know, medicine to help keep going my labour. They had to put their hands in and, you know, shift her head. And I was all relaxed and whatever until they told me, you need to push, you know, it's time. You're 10 centimetres, it's time to push. And when you can't feel down there and they tell you need to push, you're like, no, I don't need to push. I'm okay. So they were telling me, you know, you need to push, it's your time. I sat there and I was like, okay, whatever, you know, I want to get her, I don't want to meet her. I had my nana, my partner, my mum, my auntie and my nana all down there holding my feet up. I had the midwife down there and she said, one long push, just push. And then they tell you to put your chin down to your neck. So I was pushing and I was pushing and I was pushing. And then for some reason, I was just so drained, I just couldn't do it. So I remember crying and I remember telling them, I can't do this, I'm gonna stop pushing. So I stopped pushing and I'm pretty sure her head was not out, but it was like halfway out. And they're like, okay, we'll just have, you know, a sip of water. Do you want a break? You know, we need to do this. You're doing so well. So I was like, okay, had the water. They pushed my partner down so he can see it. He didn't want to see anything because, you know, it's kind of a scary thing. Some dads are in it, some dads aren't, but he wasn't. But he told me afterwards that was the best experience of his life, so yay. I pushed him down there and she said, okay, little pushes then. So I did a whole lot of little pushes. And I pushed for 5 minutes, which seems long to some people because some people only push for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But I kept pushing, and then they're like, touch her head, you know, touch her head so you know she's there. Didn't want to touch her head, and I remember yelling at everyone, I just want her out. My partner was there and he was trying to tell me push, and I remember snapping at him, telling him, you don't know what I'm going through, you can't tell me to keep going, you don't know how it feels. And I feel really bad afterwards, but which is true, like, I don't know, in pain. And then I just felt this, and that's the best way I can explain it, is like actually like that, like, which is really weird that a sound can show a feeling. And then they just put her straight on me, and the look she gave me, oh, it was the best moment of my life. And I think every mum can agree with that, is when you first look at them and you're holding them and they're so tiny and you don't know where to hold and you don't know what to do. I was holding her, and then I had a massive blood gush though, so they took my placenta out and they started to prepare to stitch me up because I didn't need stitches. I just had a graze from Layla, but my midwife said if I didn't want it to sting every time I went pee, she's just going to do a little, you know, a few stitches. And as they started, I had this massive blood gush, and I lost about 2 litres of blood. So I felt really sick. And they were doing the stitches and I was holding her, and I remember I was kind of getting a bit dazed, and I kept telling people, can you take her from me because I'm going to drop her if you just let me hold her. So she got passed around, everyone met her, I was doing all that, and then they gave her back. I was having my kisses and my loves and my just everything with her. But what I forgot to say was, since she was stressed from her head being stuck in me, she pooped in me. And everyone knows newborns have the black poop, and it went in her system, which is actually really bad, and made her super cold. Like, she was freezing when she came out. So I had to do a lot of chest to chest to warm her up with my body heat. And then I remember and then I went and had a shower after I warmed her up, and I just remember blood gushing out. I needed to put towels down. You know, labour is a messy situation. It's not like something that's clean and perfect and can be done so well. It was really messy, and I'm so blessed to have my partner there because I don't know what I would have done without him. I had towels filled with blood. He helped me shower. I had to have 4 pads on because I had that blood gush, so I was still bleeding heaps. And then everyone went to go do paperwork, go get car seats, whatever, and I was left alone with her, and I was so scared. It came naturally, but having this little human that you didn't have before and you don't know what to do, you know, it was really hard. And I remember her wiggling her way to my breast, so I didn't have to latch her on, she latched herself, she wiggled her way out. And that was it all in the hospital because I decided to go to a birthing unit in Warkworth, New Zealand, so I had her in New Zealand. I wouldn't recommend it. Well, it could be a good place, I don't know, but I personally didn't have a good experience with it. my daughter was really hungry when she got out, and they told me I couldn't feed her until every 4 hours, and she was sitting there screaming because she was hungry. And I said, no, that's it, this is my daughter, I'm going to feed her because I want to. You can't tell me I cannot feed my child. So I was feeding her, you know, she was quiet, and then my partner wanted chest to chest time, which is really good for fathers to do, to bond with their newborn. And then they came in and they told me, you can't do that because he might fall asleep. And my partner turned around and said, why would I fall asleep with my daughter on my chest? So we got really angry with that place. They weren't helping me. They were being very sarcastic, very rude. So we just got up and left and went home and settled down there, and everything was good apart from my recovery. I found recovery worse than my actual labour. Since the stitches went in there, they got very itchy. That used to wake me up. The pain and the pressure, like when you sit on toilets, it wasn't a very nice experience. It took me a while to actually get comfortable again. But that's my whole labour story. I mean, it's not interesting, but that's just what I personally went through, and I would do it again. I would honestly go through labour again and still have the drugs and still have everything. Like, you know, yay to mums that go through labour without drugs, but me, drugs. I'd rather enjoy my labour than sit there screaming, and I know it's a natural thing and everything, but yes, that was my labour story, and I hoped you enjoyed, and please like it and subscribe, and if not, that's okay. This is just, you know, I'm starting this YouTube channel to kind of say, you know, get my stories out there, my personal experiences. We're posting a lot more vlogs, questions, answers, how to edit photos. You know, I've got a lot of things planned. This is just, you know, the first one, and it won't always be recorded on my iPhone as well. I have a camera, but it's very working on it. We're getting there. But thank you so much for listening to my stories, and if you're pregnant, good luck. You know, like, every experience is different. Don't listen to what one person says. It's just, everything is different. And thank you so much. See ya.